Whether you agree with the party or not, the last few weeks will go down in history for the Democrats. Kamala Harris is now the first woman of color to be nominated for the second highest office in our nation. And the Democratic Party is winding down its first ever virtual convention. Tonight, we're bringing you the memorable moments, critiques and criticisms, and looking at what's next for the party as Joe Biden continues his pursuit of the Oval Office. As the Democrat National Convention comes to a close and the Republicans get ready to nominate their guy, the conventions look different this time around. Virtual conventions look more like TV telethons than nominating parties. So many of the speeches were taped in advance, scripted, rehearsed. At times, it's hard to decide what is real and what is fake. In fact, 2020 has been so strange, you can hardly tell what's real news from fake news. So I had an idea that I thought would be both fun and enlightening. I'll read a few recent headlines, and you guess which are real stories and which are fake news. So let's go. First up, as you know, we've been trying to book Joe Biden or one of his campaign spokespeople on this show for 3 months. They say they're too busy for you, our millions of viewers across America. But this week, Cardi B interviewed Joe Biden. Now, is that fake news or real news? Real news, Cardi B scooped us. And this was announced this week. The View, daytime talk juggernaut, has had only female hosts since its launch 20 plus years ago. Now we hear The View is replacing Joy Behar with a man in an attempt at gender diversity. Now that's fake news. Also this week, the Democratic Party had a high-profile U.S. senator speak on their Native American panel at the convention. That senator was, wait for it, Senator Elizabeth Warren. Well, that's real news. The same Senator Warren who pretended to be Native American to get a Harvard teaching gig. You can't make this stuff up, folks. To social media, Twitter blocked the conservative website, the Babylon Bee, for dispelling disinformation. Well, that's true. By the way, the Babylon Bee is a parody site. That's what they do. They poke fun at real news by using fake news. Looks like Twitter got punked. Lighten up, @Jack. The U.S. Post Office is the latest 2020 political football. First it was masks, then it was hydroxychloroquine, and now mailboxes are the biggest right-left debate. As it turns out, Democrats have become enamored with the post office. So Trump being Trump is countering the Dems with a new 55-cent postage stamp. Now that's fake news for now. Turning to the summer of discontent and mayhem on the streets, a seated U.S. Congresswoman suggested this week we need more violence on our streets. Ayanna Pressley said, quote, there should be unrest in the streets because Trump. Yep, that's a true story. P.S. Representative Pressley is up for re-election in November. Vote accordingly, Massachusetts. To Illinois, a lemonade stand was robbed in broad daylight at gunpoint. The thugs stuck a gun in a couple kids selling lemonade on the sidewalk. Unfortunately, that's also true. By the way, does that sum up 2020 or what? In Seattle, not so peaceful Black Lives Matter protesters demanded white homeowners hand over the keys of their homes for blacks for free. Now that story is true too. Now no word on whether any idiots handed over the keys to the house in an attempt at wokeness, but it is Seattle. So stay tuned. In a strange flip of the script, in violence-ridden Chicago, tactical equipment sales are down as Chicagoans are said to be getting used to violence in the streets. No, that's fake news. Tactical equipment sales are skyrocketing in Chicago and across the country. Guns, ammo, Kevlar vests are flying off the shelves. Even the amazing Kreskin got himself a bulletproof vest. And that's true news right there. You know, just in case he can't, poof, disappear if he gets attacked. In a new CNN poll out this week, President Trump is gaining ground on Joe Biden, closing the gap by 10 points. Trump credits recreational bike rider support for the surge. No, that's fake news. Trump did close the gap, but come on, bike riders, that's ridiculous. Trump actually credits recreational boaters for some of his gains. Speaking of Trump, the president raised some eyebrows last week when he said he liked Roger Goodell's blue T-shirt when Goodell caved to the NFL players who wanted to kneel during the national anthem. Watch.
I thought this was over. And then Roger Goodell from his basement, like Biden, in a blue T-shirt, as opposed to a suit. He looks much more handsome in a suit.
Well, that's fake news. Everyone knows Trump hates T-shirts. And finally, here's one last true or false test for you. Joe Biden forgot the first line of the Declaration of Independence, said black people who don't vote for him aren't really black, talked about kids rubbing his hair legs, forgot he was running for president, not the Senate, and said, quote, poor kids are just as bright and talented as white kids, just to name a few gaffes. True or false, he still won the Democratic nomination. Sadly, that's true.